This is a good one. I want to touch on this because this is not just for man but woman. You get a good partner, and then the mind says, how do I keep them? How do I keep her? How do I keep this good girlfriend? I remember I was in Thailand. There was a girl on the beach, and I'm serious. I've never in my life felt compelled to go talk to a girl. It had to happen somewhat natural or something. But this girl, I had to just talk to her. I'll never forget it. I had to. And she was from Greece and just perfect symmetry. And I was just like, I got to talk to her. And so we talked, got along for a little bit. And she asked me, she says, of course she has a boyfriend. She said, how do I keep this boyfriend? No, she specifically said, how do I make him not cheat on me? She was worried he's gonna cheat on her because he was younger and he also looked good, she said. So I found myself spontaneously saying, there's nothing you can do about that. What you need to do is you find a guy who don't cheat. Like that, you know? So we can apply that to the same, what we're talking about here. But what do I mean? How do you find a girl that don't cheat? Well, when a girl is satisfied with her current present situation, she's not going to want to so-called cheat. It's in a woman's nature to not go around and mess around with everybody. It's just not in her nature. Not a true balanced woman. She doesn't want to have promiscuous sex and partners and all that. A girl that's imbalanced and who's a bit of a sex addict, then she's going to want to do that. But if you get a girl that's more healthy and balanced and doesn't have trauma and issues, and a post-therapy girl, you want a post-therapy girl. But you got to be a post-therapy guy to attract a post-therapy girl. So, what are we going to do? It's the law of resonance. You get a girl like that, and you're balanced and centered, and you guys mesh, and there's chemistry, and there's matching. Where's the cheating? Like, where's that going to come from? You're just not going to want to do that. It's like if you have a nice car, you're satisfied with your car. Somebody says, oh, but man, there's a better car out there. Yeah, but whatever, I'm satisfied. Or if you have a good partner, somebody says, man, I want you to meet this other girl. You're like, for what? There's no feeling to do that. You're satisfied. That's how you keep the girl. But you're not trying to keep her, which brings me to the other aspect I want to touch on. You got to give somebody total freedom and space to go do what they want to do, whenever they want to do it. The mind will say, well, yeah, but if I do that, that gives them a license or permission to go mess around on me. Not if they're satisfied. Go back to the first aspect. If they're satisfied, they're not going to do that. Well, part of the satisfaction that a girl is going to feel is when you let her do what she wants to do. When she doesn't feel this ownership, this possessiveness. Now, an imbalanced girl likes that. Makes her ego feel good. Oh, he'll die for me, and he's going to go beat up this guy for looking at me, and there's some twisted thinking in her mind. She likes that, so she attracts a twisted guy that's going to do that. But if you're cool, if you understand like how life works, that like there's certain desires that we have to experience and we can't help it, so you don't try to fight that. You don't want to suppress the person you're with, or say things to try to let them know like, yo, you're my hostage. Just remember that. You don't want to do that. You just let them be free. Go do what they want to do. And then in return, they're not going to want to do that if they're healthy. They'll be like, whoa, I got a special man here. Like he's not trying to own me. He's not possessive of me. Well, I can breathe. I'm not stifled and suffocating. And then she's going to be more attracted to you. Can she give you the same space though? See, we got to give each other that space. We got to do that. Now, some may say, well, what about then multiple partners and all that? Yeah, I'm not it doesn't matter. Everybody just do what you want to do. You're going to find out through your own experience, like what works and what doesn't. The multiple partner thing, it usually doesn't work. I've never seen it work. Unless the people, it's a very superficial connection they have to begin with. If there's no depth, then yeah, you have sex with this person, if it's some kind of swinger thing. But otherwise, one person's enough to have depth with. Like I've said sometimes, like, how do these guys have 2 or 3 girlfriends? Like, it's like impossible. But then I realize, well, that's superficial. There's nothing there. They're not really getting into it. They're not using the relationship for the highest purpose, which is to purify your, you can say, defects of character inside you that you don't know you have, because the relationship's going to bring all that out. It's going to pull that underneath the nail that you're not even aware of. It's like, whoa, I didn't know that insecurity and fear and expectations were there. That's what a relationship does. One's plenty. Most people can't handle that, so you don't need more. Usually when people get into multiple partners, it's because they're a bit of a sex addict and they want to explore that. That's cool, but then call it that. Don't call it free love and I'm tantra, and don't kid yourself. Just go have a bunch of sex if you want to do that. But this is the best situation is when you recognize, when you do introspection, when you know yourself and you know the importance of being free and how that makes you feel real good, you're going to automatically realize, well, I got to extend this freedom to everybody. Now, expectations are going to come up if you're with a girl where the chemistry's off the chart and you feel connected to her, you feel vulnerable, because if she leaves, you're going to get hurt. You got to bear that. This is life. It's not easy. We have an emotional body, and we got to deal with that. We're not like the birds. They're less evolved. Mom's up in the nest and has a little baby chick, and the chick's like handicapped. She just kicks him out of the nest. She don't feel nothing, It's the strong survive. That's the law of nature. Otherwise, species get weak and then get extinct, and so God put that instinct in them, like not to do that. Humans aren't like that. I remember there was the Girl with No Face was the title, and this girl was born with a horrible defects in her face, and she underwent 90 or 100 or more surgeries to try to correct it, and it really didn't do anything, just added a bunch of extra suffering. So then the parents have another kid to hope that maybe this one turns out better. It's like just feeling took over. They didn't look at it like, wait a minute, this might be a big risk. The other one might have the same problem. No, emotion took over. They had another kid and it was the same situation, So in situations, see, humans, they have this emotional body and it can screw a lot of things up. And the way this plays in this scenario that I'm talking about, the reason it's challenging to give another total space and freedom to do what they want is because these emotions that come up in you when you really feel like you love somebody. That's the thing. Because then expectations come up, and these entitlements and ownership, all that stuff starts to come up. And then it's like you want to put a leash on them. You just don't mess with me. Don't hurt me. And then you start watching them when they're talking to other guys. Oh wait, she looks like she's really enjoying him. Maybe he's better than me. Maybe he's doing something I'm not doing. Insecurities come up. See, people don't look at that though. They just push it under, or then they treat her bad. And then she'll feel energetically. She's like, why is he acting so stupid? He's not going to tell her, well, it's because, you were talking to this guy and I felt insecure, and so now I'm mad at you for making me feel insecure, so now I got to pay you back. I'm going to treat you bad now because you treat me bad, even though you didn't mean to and didn't know it. See how deep this goes? You got to look at all that stuff. You don't need to go to school to become a psychologist to learn this. You just look and see. Actually, I used to run circles around these psychologists when I was in my early 20s. They helped me for 6 months just to articulate my feelings, but I had been working on myself for years. And so then I'd be in front of the psychologist and start messing with them, asking them subtle questions they're not even used to asking themselves, let alone their patients. But I don't recommend going and messing with them. But my point is, this realization and self-honesty and self-introspection you have inside yourself. It's according and up to you. How important is it to you? How important is it for you to look inside and check your motives, check why am I feeling a certain way in a situation? Why am I projecting this feeling onto somebody else? You got to be responsible for your feelings and where you're at, and see what's going on, and catch yourself when you start projecting onto other people. Otherwise, you don't grow, and if you don't grow, you're not gonna feel a sense of serenity and balance, because you're gonna be living like everybody else, just false. You're just gonna be being dragged around by these suppressed emotions that you're not looking at, and these suppressed expectations and everything, and they're just controlling your life. So you're doing and acting and reacting in an inauthentic way, but you don't know it. You got to look inside yourself and catch this stuff so you know it. Then you'll attract a girl who's doing the same, and then she's not going to want to leave you. Why would she leave you? It's so hard to find that. Like, when you find that, you're not gonna where you're gonna go back into the cesspool of unconsciousness. No, you're gonna appreciate what you have. So then this becomes erroneous, this whole how do I keep her from leaving, like, you know. At the same time, you always give the partner space and freedom. Look, she's gonna leave at some point anyway. This is a fact. She's either gonna, if you stay together long enough, she's gonna die or you're gonna die, and that's gonna be it. Unless you like that movie, that was a good movie actually. That was probably, I'm not really into love stories, but there's two movies that I liked. Well, first one, though, Bridges of Madison County with Clint Eastwood and Meryl Streep. Starts out a little slow, but man, the end, like 3/4 to the end, raw. This shows the true human vulnerability. Like, they're in a situation they don't even know. Like, they're high level people, but emotions and feelings took over, and it just made a mess. You know, this is the human play we're in. This is what can happen. But what's the other movie? I can't remember, man. If I remember, yeah, if you want to know, then you maybe you can leave a comment and I'll try to figure it out. But anyway, they died at the end together. That's my point. Now, it's a little Hollywood, but usually that doesn't happen. The guy was like, because they were both sick, and he said to her, oh, she said, do you think we can just leave together? And he says, I think our love is strong enough, it'll do whatever we want it to. And she says, all right, let's do it. And they just laid down together, went to sleep. And then, because he visited her in the hospital, so then in the morning or a couple hours, a nurse came in, and she's like, oh man, they're both dead. Yeah, that usually doesn't happen. So somebody's leaving somebody at some point. Even there, they both died. But what dimension now are they on? You might can find each other somehow, like that movie with Robin Williams a long time ago, What Dreams May Come. He died a natural death. So he went to a certain dimension, and then his wife suicided out because he was gone. Emotions took over, so she went to a different dimension, law of resonance. So then, for Hollywood, he's trying to find her. He's got to go through the dungeons and everything and get to her because she's unconscious. She's suicided out. So then he finds her and he's trying to talk to her, but she can't. They're like on different frequencies. She can't understand what he's saying. I won't tell you the end in case you want to see that. What Dreams May Come. That's with Robin Williams. So look, life is dramatic, man. There's some gut-wrenching plots that God creates by giving us this emotional body and these desires and everything. You just got to work with that. Bear that pain. Bear that pain. If she feels more, if she wants to talk to some other guys, or if you see her enjoying another guy's company, ask God to give you the strength to enjoy that she enjoys, okay? And then she'll enjoy you even more. This is all paradoxical. That's the thing. Unless she's sick and she was trying to get you jealous, but you want to get rid of them anyway. Like, don't even, like, please. But a real woman who's healthy, she wants somebody, a guy that doesn't have a leash around her neck. Like, this is super important for women, because so many guys have that. They're so possessive, you know. But still, the girls, like, they sign up for that because insecurity and they want, you know, stability and financial security, everything. So they'll put themselves in a, especially if they have kids, they'll put themselves in a situation like that just to give themselves some security. But that's another topic. So they appreciate when they find a man that's not doing that. Okay, that's your power. And if they don't appreciate it, you still win, because then let them go. You want a girl that appreciates you for who you are, a girl that wants to stay with you. You don't need to try to figure out, how do I get her to stay with me? No, if she don't want to stay with you, you want to know that. Say, look, tell me anytime. If you don't want to stay with me, no problem. You're free to go, no strings attached. Enjoy your life. Maybe I'll cry a couple days, or it's all good. My heart will be stronger after. And you use that as an experience that life has given you to build character and to grow in consciousness. Everything's prescribed to us perfectly. It's all perfectly tailor-made for you. If you got to experience a heartbreak, that's good, because your heart's going to get stronger in a good way. You get to the point to where you're still very sensitive and vulnerable, but strong. That's what you want. You don't want to close your heart. That's not strong. Oh, I'm not going to get intimate again because it just hurts too much. No, you'd be willing to get hurt. You'd be willing to get hurt. It doesn't hurt forever. And then next time when it happens, it hurts less. There's no way around this. We got to go through this kind of school of hard knocks to get strong. All right, so do that. All right, leave me any questions you have.